Okay, hey everyone and welcome to this week's video. So this week's video is actually going to be a bit of an impromptu one, but I thought there are going to be a lot of people that feel the way that I used to after they finish their GCSEs and have no idea what they want to do, whether they want to go and do A-levels, whether they want to do an apprenticeship, whether after A-levels they want to go to uni or not, and they're unsure. So I thought I would chat to you guys about my personal experience and maybe help a few of you guys out there. Now, overall, my college experience was actually really good. I would say I had a good group of friends. I liked all of my lessons, I would say. All of the teachers were really nice, apart from one, but we won't go there. Yeah, it was an overall good place, but basically let's start from the beginning. So I had finished my GCSEs and I had about 4 months, June, July, August, September, yeah, 4-month gap in between to decide where I wanted to go and what I wanted to do. Now at that point I was very focused on YouTube and the whole media aspect. I love editing. I really liked the thought of doing something in the media industry, but my mom wasn't as supportive because of how competitive that industry is. So she was umming and ahhing herself about that. So I thought, well, let's go to something second best that I would really like. And I thought makeup, beauty, that's my second passion. I made a channel around it. I love playing with makeup. It could lead to something. So I went to visit 2 different colleges, one of them being the one that I actually went to, and one of them being a more BTEC NVQ focused college. I actually loved the beauty course. I loved the whole, what would you call it, the room, how it was structured, what I was gonna learn. And then it got to results day, and I remember opening the envelope and being like, right, you've got to decide what you want to do now for the next however many years. And I sat there and I thought, and I was like, do I really want to do a beauty course now? Because I'd already got accepted, and I was like, because everyone has such a stigma, if that's the right term to say, against NVQs and people who go to college instead of A-levels. They're the dumb people, they're the people that, I'm not saying that anyone who does them are bad people, of course I'm not saying that, but there is some kind of judgment towards that. And I was like, do I want to do media more, or do I want to do beauty more? And I sat there and I was like, well, if I went to do A-levels, I would probably get more out of it being media wise. So I thought, okay, well, my mum might not like that I want to do media, but I'll do it anyway. So on that very day, I completely did a 360 and was like, right, that's it, no beauty course for me, A-levels it is. I went, and as you can tell, I was really undecisive of what I wanted to do in the future. So let's go from first few days. So overall, good lessons, loved it, apart from one lesson being my business lesson, but other than that, I loved it. It was a good college, I would say anyway. As people say, there was a lot more freedom than in high school. You could basically do what you like unless you was in lessons, and I quite liked that. But there was always something in the back of my mind saying, do I really want to be doing these 2 other subjects that I don't want to pursue, have to do an exam in them, feel really stressed out when I'm not going to use them? Because I knew myself, I was always one for saying go to university, because everyone that was around me had been to uni. They all wanted to go to uni, everyone. But I remember my best friend Georgia, and she used to constantly say, I don't want to go to university because the fees. And I used to be the one to say to Georgia, you need to go to uni. And to be sat here today and completely change my mind is kind of weird for me, because when you sit there and you think about uni, it's got to be for the right reasons. Like, you've got to have a course in mind that you want to pursue later, else 4 or 5 years in uni, 9 grand a year, and you're not going to use it. Do you really want to do it? Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, there's the independence, there's the moving away from home, but you can get that with a job. So I completely backtracked on wanting to go uni, and on the other hand, I don't know, it's always going to be there. Education is always going to be there. So just bear that in mind when you're like making your decisions. So as soon as I'd established, like, look, I don't want to go to university and everyone that is in my building wants to go to university, I started investigating. I started looking at whether I could do the beauty course that I wanted at a different campus, but unfortunately it was like halfway through the year, so they couldn't. But what me and my mum were talking about, mum, guys, don't know why I went so posh then, but we were discussing apprenticeships, and I was like, well, that sounds like a good thing to do, because when my mum was younger, she worked in a bank and she wanted to own her own dance school. So what she did is she worked in the bank and paid for her dance school from that, if you get what I mean. So she didn't want to make a career out of the bank, but it gave her the opportunity to be able to pursue something else. So I sat there and I thought, well, that would be ideal, because I could fund my YouTube, I could fund night makeup courses or makeup courses that I've seen online, like the Illamasqua makeup course. I can get taught a lot more than I would in college, if that makes sense. Like, I would enjoy it more. So I thought, well, why not give it a go? So I started applying for apprenticeships and I got one, and I was actually persuaded out of it. I'm really easily, like, is it bad, influenced by friends, if that's a word. And a lot of people were saying, like, you've made it so far, why don't you just continue? Get these first lot of exams out of the way and then you'll be basically done. And I was thinking, like, okay, maybe they're right. And I stayed for an extra, so that was just after my birthday, so I stayed for November, December, January, February, March, so 5 extra months because of that, doing something that I didn't want to do. And to be honest, that was probably my worst mistake, because I could have been out of there a lot sooner, and if I'd have gone to the college sooner, then I could have been doing a different course as well. But I let other people influence me, and I think that is a good message to put in this video. Like, whatever you do, whether it be college, apprenticeship, wanting to go uni after that, whatever the other options are, whatever you do, make sure that you are doing it because you want to do it, not because someone tells you to or someone else thinks it's best. Do what you want to do, because I know this sounds cheesy, but at the end of the day, you've got one life. Like, if you make the wrong decision, it's not gonna, like, it's gonna make you live with regret, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And that's what I was doing. And basically, cut a long story short, I then went for a second interview at a different place, which you will have, well, you didn't see, but I put up a vlog today, actually, as I'm filming this. So in town, I went for an interview in that place, and they gave me an apprenticeship, and I felt so much better in myself. Like, I knew that I could get the grades that I wanted to do at A level. I knew I could do it, but it's whether I wanted to do it, if that makes sense. And I didn't want to do it. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, like, I am pretty intelligent and can get good grades when I put my mind to it, but if I knew in myself I wouldn't want to do it. So I changed, and basically I had the interview, got the train back, and by the time I got off the train to get the bus back because my mum was at work, they'd sent me an email saying I got the apprenticeship, and I was so happy. And the next day I went in to hand my badge in and put everything away, and when I left, I don't think you guys understand the relief that I felt, because I just wasn't tied down in like a little box anymore. I was like doing something that would benefit me in the future and something that I wanted to do, if you get what I mean. So I am starting the course on the 25th. So yeah, I do 2 days a week for 6 weeks, and then I get my placement for the rest. But yeah, I guess the whole message of this video is, after you finish GCSEs, and if you pick a place and you don't like it, it is not the end of the world. I can promise you guys, you can change. You can end up doing what you want to do, if that makes sense. And it's not the end of the world. If you don't get those results, it's not the end of the world, I promise. Like, just make sure you do what you love, because in 30 years time, if you look back and think, oh my god, why didn't I go to that different college? Why didn't I do that subject I like because my mom said this or my friend said that? You're gonna absolutely hate yourself and regret it. Like, I promise you, it will be fabulous, okay? Do not worry about what anyone else thinks. Yeah, so that was my college experience. Again, I've got no issues with the college. I just didn't want to do the subject in the end, if that makes sense. So leave any questions down below if you guys are unsure of what you want to do. I can try my best to offer some advice, because I know some people always ask me like, why would you do that, or like, how did you do that? So just let me know whatever you want in the comments. Give it a cheeky like if you liked it, and I'll see you guys in next week's video. Bye guys.